All right, you ready?
Yes. All right. So I don't have a mic.
No,
I
you
just
didn't.
use that mic.
You got one right there. I put one
Oh,
on.
you did? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
You have one.
I'm a pickpocket.
Okay, so we're gonna. Huh?
Let's check and make sure my wallet was still there. Okay, it's good. We're there.
Okay, so the purpose of the chamber chat is really to kind of find out what your journey has been up to this point, so that we can hopefully. We've got somebody at the door there, if we can let them in. Learn some pearls of wisdom from you.
Oh.
And so that's the whole purpose of it.
Okay.
And get seated here.
You know, I am an open book.
Good.
And
We got
I don't know
questions.
how many pearls of wisdom I can offer, but
Well, I'm going to find them. That's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, you ready?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, so super hard question to start off. Where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born at St. Paul Hospital in downtown Dallas.
Okay.
And then I was raised in Farmers Branch, where I had at one time, I think I had 23 relatives, you know, mom, brother, sister-in-law, nephew, that lived there. Okay. And I was there, other than college, I was there till I was, I guess, 42, and I'm now 56.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great place to grow up. Good hometown.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were in school, prior to leaving high school, what are some things that stand out as far as memories for you?
Oh, football was almost all I thought about. Playing on Friday nights in Texas high school football was, I mean, just memory I'll never forget. And I played baseball also. So I was co-captain of the baseball team my senior year. Football, my senior year, we won. Some people may remember Ty Detmer. He played for BYU. He won the Heisman Trophy. Mm-hmm. We got a new head coach between my junior and senior year, and we went from a running veer attack to a passing attack. And so I was a receiver, and we threw the ball all the time. So I scored regular touchdowns, caught a lot of passes, and we finished second in the state in passing yards behind Ty Detmer. So we had a blast. And then I grew up with my mom and dad got divorced when I was 6 months old.
Okay.
And then my grandfather died when I was 5. So I was kind of raised by my mom and her mom.
Okay.
But I had an uncle that was nearby. My brother's 13 and a half years older than me, so it's not that typical brother type relationship, you know.
It's probably
it's more like an uncle kind of thing. But they were all around, and I think it's better when kids grow up with a mom and dad at home. But I will tell you, my childhood and teen years was just really nice. It was a great upbringing, and I still think back to those times in so many life situations I run into, and we've tried to recreate the way I grew up and my wife grew up for our kids.
So what was the one takeaway or the thing that made an impact on you the most? And is it just one brother?
One brother.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So what was your takeaway from that time that had an impact on who you are?
Gosh, I could come up with so many things. So, I mean, the biggest of all is when I gave my life to Jesus, when I was baptized, and it's kind of funny to hear this from somebody that's in, you know, some kind of public position that has to give speeches and stuff, but I was the most intensely shy person. Just when I was around friends, I could cut up, laugh and stuff, but in front of an audience or a crowd, I mean, it was horrible. Like I hated it. And so when I was 17 years old, I had been going to church with a family, which I went to school with, you know, their son. Mm-hmm. He was my age. And we were lifelong friends. Been friends since 7th grade, went to the same college, went to the same law school, still in touch today. But when I walked down the aisle by myself with no family there, to say I wanted to be baptized. That's how we did it at Northway Baptist. Northway Baptist was in North Dallas, right by Thomas Jefferson High School. Northway Baptist planted Prestonwood Baptist, which almost everybody knows because it's such a big church. But when I walked down the aisle to say I wanted to be baptized, it's a feeling that I have not had before, hadn't had before, haven't had since. It was just this peace, just that I was doing the right thing, like I was coming home. That's probably the thing that stands out the most. And there were two families that hopefully not coming to get me. There were two families, the one I went to church with, and then another family that kind of were the ones I looked to, okay, this is what I want my life to look like. And the one family, not the one I went to church with, the patriarch, the dad, was, he owned, and you probably never heard of it, but he owned the largest sunglass company in America. And anywhere you'd go to an Eckerd's or a Safeway or a Revco or any grocery store, any 7-Eleven or Stop and Go, there'd be a little plastic rack with sunglasses on it, and he had those racks literally in every store in America almost, any kind of convenience gas station. Just a man of God through and through, just generous as you could find, and did not live the way somebody who has the largest sunglass company in America would live. So that's the person that I still today, I think of how he raised his family, how he served his community, how he volunteered in his church. That's still the person that sticks out the most that I've tried to emulate.
Now, did you know what you wanted to be growing up?
No idea.
What was the first thing you did?
So, no, I had no idea what I wanted to be. And when I say all I really thought about was sports, I guess I added girls after that. So I had two things I thought about. And I always was good in school. I didn't really have to try real hard. And so I lived for the sports, really. And the other kids, they knew what they wanted to do. They would talk about what they wanted to do. I had no idea. And so I'll tell you this story. I literally went down to so nobody from my family had gone to college. So this is March of my senior year. And I walked down one day to my guidance counselor's office and said, hey, I need some help getting into college. This was March of my senior year of high school. So, how kids are getting prepped for this stuff,
late.
9 years in advance,
Yeah.
And she said, okay, well, where have you applied? I haven't applied anywhere. Okay, well, where do you want to go? I want to go to Texas. And she said, okay, well, you need to send your SAT over there. I said, how do you take that? I mean, it was literally, that's how this was. And so she goes, oh my gosh, I think you've waited too late. So she got on the phone right there, started making phone calls, found out there was an SAT that Saturday, and I can't tell you what day that was, Tuesday, Wednesday. There was an SAT that Saturday that you had to sign up for, and I had to pay an emergency fee to be able to sign up that late. And that was the last possible time you could send your SAT to the University of Texas and basically apply. So we scrambled around, signed up for it, went, took the SAT, sent it off, got into Texas. And when you're going down there, they have a freshman orientation. It's 12,000 incoming freshmen. I think they have 3 or 4 orientations, and you have to put on there what your major is. And I had no earthly idea. And I said, hey, Mom, what should I do for this? She said, you should be a doctor. And I'm like, okay, what do you do there? And we looked it up, and it was, say, pre-med. So I signed up for pre-med. Now, I hate science. Never wanted to be a doctor, but that's what I put down. You had to put something. So we get to that orientation in the middle. It's the summer of 1987. We get to that orientation, and there's the biggest dorm in the world. It's called Jester Dormitory, for those that know anything about UT. And inside, there's a big courtyard in the middle of Jester. So like 4,000 kids, mandatory orientation you got to go to, 3,000, whatever it was. We go in that courtyard, and they have tables set up through this big giant courtyard of you're going to go visit your college. And whatever your major is, that's the college and the grouping of buildings. So I go over there to the College of Natural Sciences line, and it literally had 8 people in there, and it was 8 nerdy-looking dudes with tape on their glasses, protractor in their pocket, I'm not kidding. And then over here, the other line was where all the good-looking girls were. And it was a really long line.
So that's how you made your
And
decision.
I literally walked over there, got in the back of that line, and that just happened to be the business school. So that's how I went and got a business degree. Now, I've looked back on this now, and I know that God directed all of it and used my own stupidity and immaturity to get me in the right places. But business school, finance degree is exactly where I should have been based on my talents, skills, abilities. I mean, it just fit me perfectly, and that's how it happened. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember what the question was, but maybe that answered it. Yeah.
No, it did. It did. So outside of that decision, has there been another major decision since then that was a life-changing decision for you that made a huge impact?
The first 2 things that come to mind are getting married. So I got married very late in life. I didn't get married till I was 39. My wife was 31. I could not imagine life without her. I could not imagine somebody that fits me better. I could not imagine somebody that would put up with me better. So there's that one. And then I guess the other one is just when I decided to go to law school. And, so many things I look back on and like there was no direction from family or my own idea. So I placed out of, before I started school, I placed out of 9 hours and I took 6 hours of summer school. So I basically started my freshman year of college in the second semester. And so I was basically done in 3 years, and I was 20. And I'm like, what am I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. And about that time, LA Law was on TV. And so I watched that show. That seemed really interesting. And I think I remember reading this, this is years ago, but that show was responsible for a massive uptick in law school applications. And so I said, well, I wanted to get an advanced degree because it seemed like everybody I knew was getting some kind of bachelor's degree. I didn't really know what I wanted. I didn't necessarily want to be a lawyer. I wanted an advanced degree. And so I started talking to people that had a law degree. And the thing that really appealed to me was they told you it teaches you how to think logically, and how to process things. And what it has helped me to do is I can just process things in my head really fast, or maybe I could before, and this helped refine it, I don't know. But I can just kind of see what's going to happen next, and what happens if you do this, what happens if you do that, and it all goes in my head really fast. So I went to law school. And after law school, when you have student debt, you go take the bar exam so you can go get a job. So I took the bar exam, passed the bar. I had a job waiting for me if I passed the bar. And then I became a lawyer. I was always more business-minded than legal-minded. And there's a lot of lawyers, no offense to the lawyers, there's a lot of lawyers that they're not very good at running a business. They understand the law, they understand how to write, they understand how to argue, persuade. Well, I was able to do both. And it just led me to basically achieve financially more than I ever dreamed I could, and certainly more than anybody in my family had. So yeah, those 2 things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So from a leadership perspective, was there someone that saw that in you prior? That ability?
So I don't know that I ever had self-confidence any different than anybody else, or maybe even didn't have much, until 5th grade. And I had a teacher, Mrs. Jewitt. And Mrs. Jewitt was just phenomenal. And she called me and a few of the other students, I don't think she said it out loud to everybody else, her superstars. She pumped me so full of confidence and belief in myself that from that point forward, I thought I could do anything I wanted. And so she stands out. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else after that. Not really. Okay. No. I developed self-confidence in that classroom, whatever that was, 1979, 80 is probably when that was, 5th grade. And I just, when I left 5th grade, I literally thought, okay, I'm gonna do the best at everything I do. And
that was that.
And I haven't, but I mean, I've done pretty well in most of the stuff I've tried.
So how did you get from attorney to where you are today?
So that's a great question. When I was an attorney, when I ran a law firm, I was the managing attorney of a law firm. We did a lot of deals, negotiated a lot of things, but I also ran for city council in my hometown. And I got elected, and then after the 3-year term, I ran for mayor, got elected to that. And, when you're in there, you learn about platting and zoning and all those things that I knew nothing about until I got on council. I say that. I served on planning and zoning, for a few years. So I learned about it. And but I learned how to plat and to change zoning and to do things. So while running the firm, I started buying pieces of land or investing in land. I was never a developer, but I'd buy land, and I would call it, I don't know, distressed, and it really wasn't. But it'd be a simple thing like, here's a 1-acre lot in an affluent community that they can't sell because there's an easement running through it and there's no way to build a house on there. Well, that's not hard if you know. If you don't know, you don't know. So I went over there, went to a neighbor and said, hey, what would it take for you to take, I called the electric company, what would it take to take this pole and put it in the corner of your backyard? What could I do for you? And, I don't know. I don't really mind. What if I gave you $5,000? Oh yeah, I'd do that in a minute. Great, boom. $5,000, bought the land, turned around and flipped it really quick and about doubled the money. So I started doing some of that almost as a hobby.
Okay.
And then people caught wind of it. And so they would come to me with deals and ask me, okay, what would you like to invest in this? And then we developed this little niche where we would buy burned down lots where the people weren't going to live there anymore or rebuild. But the foundation was still good. The pool was still good. So I had a partner that would build the home. I'd buy the lot. He'd build it. We'd split the profits. So all of that to get to, we had made some money. We'd kind of achieved our goals. And one man came and asked me if I would run for county judge. This was sometime in the fall of 2020. You remember during that time period, that was the height of COVID.
Yep.
And some people loved the shutdowns and the business closures and the schools and thought that's what we should be doing. Other people thought that was a disaster. I think over time it's proven to be, it was pretty disastrous. And so people were looking for a change. So one guy asked me if I would do it. I had just closed on a big real estate deal and a big deal at the law firm. We were sitting on, quite frankly, a pile of money that came in, and we were looking at where could we buy a second home. We were trying to decide, are we going to go to Breckenridge, Colorado? Are we going to go to 30A? Are we going to buy something in Galveston? Where could we buy a place to go relax and basically live the life of Riley, when we're not working? And he just kept pestering me if I were to run for this. I kept saying no. One guy. And I finally said to him, listen, if you talk to some others and they say they would support me, okay, I will listen. And what I really was doing was just thought that would make him go away. Yeah. And then he came back and he said, this one will support you, this one will support you, this one will support you. I'm like, wow. I said, okay, let me get through Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving at 20. Let me get through Thanksgiving, and I'll actually give it some thought. And I'd still planned the answer is going to be no. So started thinking about it. And quite frankly, when I was thinking about it, all the things I was thinking about was why I wasn't going to do it, how hard it would be, why would I want to do that. We have young kids, so now they're 15, 13, 11, and 9. At the time, that was 4 years ago, so subtract 4. Actually, what was that? That was 6 years ago now. So subtract 6. And then one day, it just kind of hit me. I hadn't prayed about it. Mm-hmm. And so I literally dropped to my knees, prayed about it right then. And just said, God, please make it clear to me if this is what you want me to do. You have provided for us in a way where we can do it and still live a very nice life. Just show me if that's what you want me to do. Next morning, I got a phone call from a former state senator that said, hey, I want to talk to you about something. Okay, what? I think you should run for county judge. And I said, now, where did that come from? So, I was talking to my husband about it last night. I said, did you talk to anybody else? No. Somebody else call you? No. Okay. Then I think people in this room probably know Andy Wynn, who's commissioner over here. He had talked about running for county judge forever. So after I got off the phone with the senator, I called Andy. I probably hadn't talked to Andy in a year. And I just said, hey, are you still thinking about running for county judge in 22? And he said, yeah. Why do you ask? I go, well, so that was kind of okay. And he said, wait a minute, are you thinking about it? I go, well, thoughts crossed my mind. And he said, if you would do it, I'll step aside. I'll get behind you 100%. You are exactly what we need in that role. And I'll tell you, in politics, that is incredibly rare. Mm-hmm. Most people are thinking of self.
Yes, always.
Incredibly rare. So I felt like after those 2 phone calls, I had my answer. Mm-hmm. Now, I ran against, we had 5 people in the primary. One of those people was former Mayor of Fort Worth, who had some popularity. Mm-hmm. I was told I'd be outraised 3 or 4 to 1, and I could not win with her name ID. Mm-hmm. And then I was told by my own consultant, the best we can hope for basically is that you get in a runoff. And after it was all said and done, we outraised my opponent. We won by 23 points with no runoff. Mm-hmm. And then we won in November. And so I am right where I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And I would tell you, if you actually look at the results, what frustrates people so much about government, we have actually come in and fixed most of it. But the job is never done. Mm-hmm. And the moment this mindset leaves that area, it can go right back to wasting money and hiring too many people. But we've got it going in the right direction.
So what do you foresee for the future? For you? For
me?
I know the answer since you've told me everything up to this point. Okay. But what do you see? Well,
I get asked regularly, or encouraged, or both, to run for this or run for that. I'm running for this again. Mm-hmm. So I won the primary. I had one opponent, but we got 88% of the vote. So we're on the ballot in November. So I've committed to do it again. I've never publicly stated that I wouldn't do it a third time, but I wouldn't do it a third time. 8 years is plenty. We have people that go into these jobs and they stay there for life. Mm-hmm. That's never good. Mm-hmm. That's, Fortune 500 company CEOs, their average lifespan is about 5 years. Mm-hmm. And you need new people to come in with new ideas. And so, Lord willing, we'll win in November. Mm-hmm. I will do that for 4 years. What will I do after that? I don't know. I'll be 61 years old. Mm-hmm. I will never go to Washington. And I'm not saying I will go after this, but I will never go to Washington while my kids are in school. So my youngest, because I got married so late, we had 4 kids in 6 years. My youngest will graduate high school when I'm 66, and I'm just not going to go up to Washington and be a congressman or, and be Patrick Henry up there while my wife is raising our kids, and I don't watch them play in their games and be in their choir concerts, stuff like that. So I'm going to do that for 4 years, and then truly I do not know if we win what will happen after that. I do not know. I know the guy that I told you about, his name's Ed Bonneau, the guy that owned the sunglass company. And the name of the company was Bonneau Company, so probably nobody would know that. But the Bonneau Company owned Foster Grant.
Okay.
So, I mean, you've heard of that, obviously.
Yeah.
And he sold his company when he was 62 years old and never again worked in any kind of job. Didn't have to, obviously. And but he was heavily involved in his church. He traded stocks on his own, but he has 6 kids, and I forget the numbers. I mean, it grows by the minute, literally. But it's 40-something grandkids and 80-something great. I mean, it's crazy. It's a lot of numbers. And they just spend their time with family. And they'll do things like they'll rent a home in Colorado for 2 months in the summer, and they just say, family, come on up, come when you want. And sometimes it gets full, so they'll rent another house. And that's how they live. And so I really don't know, but that's appealing.
That's appealing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just don't want to, I will never be the type that, retires and then I just sit around and watch Gilligan's Island, I mean.
Gilligan's Island.
Yeah. So
okay.
I want to do stuff, I want to be active, but so who knows how many kids my kids will have, but it's 4 girls.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure I want to live long enough to see their kids, grow up some.
Yeah.
Because I started so late, I won't get to see them as long as, what most people do.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know.
All right, I want to do a rapid fire before we turn it over to our audience.
Rapid fire means not long answers for these. Is what that means. I get it.
Exactly what that means. Okay. All right. So a book that shaped you, guided you, impacted you.
The Bible.
Okay. A habit that changed your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
A habit that changed my life.
Yeah.
I have to get back with you on that one. Oh, that's a good question. I've never been asked that.
A mistake that taught you the most.
The first time I made real money, if you call a couple $100,000, whatever, it's $400,000 real money, I thought, okay. Now, people with money know how to make money. So I went and invested in 2 condo projects. I did not do my due diligence. I listened to someone sell me a bill of goods. I agreed to co-sign the notes to finish these 2 condos, 2 near downtown Dallas. And miraculously, we were able to only lose $150,000 when those 2 were finally sold. And so I learned my lesson very fast. And I look back on that now, and I think that saved me millions. And it actually ended up being a great life lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Someone who influenced you.
My mom, that we haven't talked about my mom.
Okay.
My mom was raised me from when I was 6 months old until however long you raise somebody, and just very influential, provided for me in every way imaginable, and it just clearly her. She passed away in 2011, so hard to believe it's been 15 years ago, but she's still in my mind every day.
Is there one thing that was the key lesson from her, or something that stands out?
She was very nice to people. She was very generous, sometimes too generous. She just take everybody in our family anywhere and everywhere and buy them whatever they would ever ask for. So she ran some credit card bills up that she shouldn't have. But family. We Christmas. She made Christmas so special for our family, and so I've carried on that tradition. We love Christmas so much. We start decorating probably November 1st, and the lights, we call them to put them on the house. I mean, they're the last week of October. We don't turn them on until November 1. But so those holidays were always just so special, and we've tried to recreate that for our kids.
Okay. Yeah. Best advice you've ever received?
You should marry her. Yeah. And I did.
Who gave that to you?
Just about everybody. So,
Okay.
When you're 39 years old, that's not the easiest step to take, right? You know? And so I've talked to a lot of people. Is this what I should do? And you get kind of set in your ways when you're that old. Mm-hmm. But everybody was, oh my gosh, don't let this one escape, and they were right.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing people would be surprised to know about you.
So I bet people would be surprised to hear this one. I bet I have seen George Strait and Kiss in concert.
What a combination.
A combined probably 50 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So my three favorite musical artists, acts, are George Strait, Elvis,
Elvis. Yes.
and Kiss. And this is kind of cool. This isn't something that people don't know because I've told this story a lot, but I have never found anyone younger than me that saw Elvis live. So my mom took me to see Elvis at the Tarrant County Convention Center. That's what it was called then, June 3rd, 1976. I was 6 years old.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I still have images from it. And if you go inside that arena today, you look at the seats, they're the exact same seats from June 3rd, 1976 with moth-eaten holes and everything else. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, listen, we are going to turn it over to the audience to let them ask you questions.
All
so
right.
I'm going to cut this off. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.